Good evening. My name is Robin Brazley. I live at 87 Manor Avenue, a home my mother had built in 1970. My family has been on Long Island for 5 generations. I stand because I am very concerned, and I would like to see Hempstead, with its rich cultural diversity, join the dialogue of the 21st century. I can't believe that you all are sitting there and allowing a developer to answer questions that we elected you to answer. My family has been here long enough that my mother and a lot of the women that worked at the telephone company, when that used to be here as well, came out to support the zoning changes that were necessary to build 100 Terrace Avenue. It was mixed use at that time. They promised us that it was going to do all the things that you all are saying tonight. And many of us have been here long enough to see not only Terrace Avenue become a homeowner, small business subsidized apartment project, but 90% of the apartment buildings that exist in Hempstead are subsidized by the residents and the small businesses. And I don't understand, while Hempstead already has more multifamily dwellings than any community in the region. Yes. Let's be kind of clear, because I bought mine. 55% of village housing is 1 and 2 family. 87% of the town and county housing is 1 and 2 family. 44.6% of village housing is multifamily. 12% of housing in the town and county is multifamily. 43% of village housing is owner-occupied. 80% of the housing in the town and county is owner-occupied. Now, what I want to know is, how come every other community in this region has been able to protect its tax base using its zoning and these other things, agreements, and we have not been? Yet, and I just want to know how many of the people we elected to represent us have read this study. This is the Long Island Future Economy, a New Beginning for Nassau and Suffolk County. The one where the $5 million that was granted for our sewage was funded. Have you all read this?
No, not smart enough.
Have you read, hold on, have you read the multifamily housing on Long Island and its impact on the number of school-age children and school district finances? Has anybody that we've elected to serve read this? What this report says, no, I think you should, some of the people that work for you. But this is what I'm saying. This is what I was like, this report, which was mentioned in this report, right? This report was mentioned in this report. What this report was mentioned to do is to encourage the region to embrace building more multifamily dwellings throughout the region. And what they reported here was that this report says that 2/3 of the multifamily housing in the region is tax positive. I found that very interesting because there's one, in this study, one apartment complex in this village is tax positive. And it's the one on Wendell, which is the condos. But every other apartment building in Hempstead is tax negative. Now what we'd like to understand, and we'd like to know that you all know enough to have discussed this with the developers that you've brought in here. Because they can't lead us. You have to lead us.
That's right.
But we have in Urban America and Renaissance Downtown 2 of the best developers around nationally. They're very well funded, their reputation is outstanding. But you've put them in a box. Our beef is not with them, our beef is with you.
That's right.
And we need you to lead. We need to understand, a benefit agreement, 10 people joining the union, all of that, that's nice in a program. This is a village, a 400-year-old village. We don't need a program. We should be leading the way in minority participation in the region.
Right.
We don't need a benefit agreement if you're doing your minority participation rules.
Amen.
We can't even make those rules apply here. What have you done to modify your plan to make it consistent with the strategic goals of HUD? Nothing. Which means that we are in danger of not getting with me, we can stop the whole region from getting HUD money. Because you can't continue to exploit black, brown, and white residents and businesses to fund landlords. So whether you put a benefit agreement in or not, whether you abide by existing federal law or not, what we want to know is, what are you going to do to get our properties back on the tax roll, and what's going to be put in place so that if you are successful in building 3,400 units more of housing, that those properties won't be taken off the tax roll. That's what we want. We want our properties back on the tax roll. This ain't about running nobody out of town. This ain't about not wanting poor people. All of these little petty fights you all having, this isn't about it. This is about the bottom 48 of the 99 that's shouldering the burden for the poor and the disenfranchised in this region. And while we have urban America and Renaissance Downtown at the table, they big boys. They got big money. They can play the game. We need them at the table on our side, making the town and the county compliant with the revisions that said we were disenfranchised, disempowering these structures that continue to make us a colony to them. And y'all stop playing political favors. We want tax abatement. We want our properties back on the tax roll. That's what we need. There is no hole, and I don't know if you all are fully aware, but nobody's gonna move here while they paying Movon and everybody else's taxes. It's just not gonna happen. And we wanna know, how is any of this going to restore and preserve our tax roll? If we got our own, if we got to keep our own money, if we stop subsidizing landlords, we'd be able to have our own programs. We wouldn't have to go hat in hand to other people begging for our sewage to be fixed. We'd have enough money to fix our own sewage. But just so you'll know what it says, what this plan said that we sent, while everybody else is building micro tech centers and bio-industrial engineering firms and plans and all that. Everybody, we have a med school, we have major universities, we have an an inner transportation modal with the bus station, the train station, we have multifamily dwellings, we have everything that the Long Island vision says that they want for Long Island and their economic vitality, but it doesn't work for us. That we need to figure that out. We need some specific research done on the village and district of Hempstead. We need to be our own masters and stop shucking and jiving. And if we don't know enough to play, we need to get off the field. But we need to stop we wasting time and talent. Urban America and Renaissance Downtown are major players. We don't need to do their bidding. We need them at the table with us figuring this out. And right now, we don't have a plan that addresses any of the needs. Any of the needs. That you could have this go up, and we got funded because all of the money has to fund communities like ours. Hempstead and Wyandanch got the 2 largest grants in this whole project so far. And the only 2 places where they talked about building more housing. So when I read this report, and the Rouse Foundation Long Island Index, all of this is available online.
Amen.
When I read them, what they say is that they're trying to figure out ways other communities have been able to block the kind of development that we already have here through their zoning laws. So my question is, well, how come our zoning laws don't help us?
That's right.
I mean, there's something, and if we can't answer those questions, we have a much bigger problem. So whether we vote for them or don't vote for them, whether we do it with a benefit agreement, give 12 people some jobs, what I want to know is, what are you going to do to make sure 590 and 600 don't get the abatement they've been promised?
All right.
What are we going to do to ensure that Connor for Living doesn't get the abatement that they want for Matter Avenue? And what are we going to do to restore to the tax roll these pilots that have already been granted? Or can we all get together and decide to go into court and sue the town and the county for our money back? Because taking those properties off the tax roll is a violation of HUD. And somebody more than me and my neighbors need to know that. We need y'all to know that and to figure out what to do about it. The final thing I want to say is, the development that is being advocated right now, again, you can see this online, And we also have a Center for Suburban Studies right here in Hofstra. We have everything right here, none of it work for us. But, and you can just go online, yahoorealestate.com. 274 homes are in foreclosure right now in the village of Hempstead. And 357 is for sale. We are positioned to be the hardest hit in the foreclosure, which Long Island has a study on that too. We're positioned to be the hardest hit. What are we doing about that? Everybody else is talking about redeveloping foreclosed properties and turning them into rental properties and doing things to ensure that the local economy is a boom. We're having a discussion about building 3,400 units of new housing and hoping that somebody will move into it. That doesn't mind the fact that all of the other apartment buildings, except for Wendell Terrace, which is the co-ops, so they pay the taxes. My time is up. That's one way to get me off the mic. Join the discussion, the real discussion that will take us into the 21st century effectively. We don't need developers promising us things. We need you all to provide leadership and to ensure that you appoint people to the zoning and other boards that will look out for the best interests of the village. And right now, the best interest of the village is not political. It's not the Democrats and what they want, it's not the Republicans and what they want, it's what the residents need to ensure that our wealth is no longer